Hello, welcome to Rock City this week. I'm Mark.
I'm Domino.
We got a great show on tap. We have a great interview this week with Billy Blair from Junk and music news.
And we also are going to talk about a few concerts that are going to be coming around town.
Quite a few good ones this summer. And I got a chance to go see Gigantour last week. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We also have a great rock cinema this week. One of my favorite movies. And yours too, right?
Mine too. Almost Famous.
Yes. Fantastic movie. I could watch that over and over again. And I have. Let's get started with some music news. What do we have?
Well, we have Avenged Sevenfold is releasing their 6th album. It's produced by the same guy, Mike Elizondo, but it's going to be the first album that's not going to be written entirely by the Rev, James Sullivan, who some of you might not know passed away in 2009. So they're going to, they actually replaced him with a former member of the band Confide. And they're going to start kicking off their fall tour with special guests Deftones and Ghost BC. So that's going to be something that we're going to be looking forward to this fall.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm
looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been such a long time since the last Avenged album.
Right. Well, it's been about 3 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Overdue.
Definitely.
Also, Slipknot, speaking of new albums, they are going to have a new album come out. Well, they want to start working on one next year. They have the same type of thing where they had a individual in their band, Paul Gray, their bass player, passed away. And they've taken a while to get back in the mode of going to the studio. They've played together overseas, and I think they've done a few festivals over here, but overall, it's been pretty quiet in the Slipknot camp. So they're going to kind of go forward and hopefully get together and make a new album next year. That's what Corey Taylor's been saying.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That'd be good to hear something out of those guys. Yeah, lots of kind of negative music news because we have Hinder, who's looking.
This is negative, isn't it?
He's looking to replace their frontman because he left the band for quote unquote personal reasons. But of course, we all found out later that it was because Mr. Winkler had checked into rehab. So unfortunately, on that note, but they were actually looking into 2 guys from American Idol. One guy from season 10. Let's see, James Durbin. The timing didn't work out for him, and they had also approached David Cook, who seemed to be interested in it, but was going to take some time and work on his own things. So they actually did wind up replacing him with a guy from Saving Abel, Jared Weeks. So it looks
cool.
That sounds like it's going to work out for them, which is good.
It is, and I had read too that the last album that Hinder did, that he was in a very dark place when he was doing it, and he said that he was doing a lot of substances during the recording of the album, but when they were done, at that point he had quit everything and was sober. So he may have had a relapse and had to go back in and
iron some things out.
Yeah.
Well, we wish him the best.
We sure do.
With his personal struggles.
We do. Also, Jason Bonham, who is touring with Heart this year, and they'll be I believe they'll be here in August. And it's kind of cool. Heart and Jason Bonham, they're doing two sets. They're doing 2 sets. Heart set, then Jason Bonham's going to come out for a half hour and doing like a Zeppelin all set. Well, what he wants to do eventually is, have you seen the Tupac hologram video?
Yes.
Which is incredible. If you guys have not seen that, YouTube it. And, I mean, it looks like he was at a festival.
Yeah, it looks like he's there.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It was in a festival, I think, last year or 2 years ago.
It's pretty
Coachella in California. And it looks like he was on stage with Snoop Dogg and someone else. I'm just escaping me who else he was with, but it looked real. Well, Jason Bonham wants to do that with his dad. He wants to put together a show where his dad is playing drums next to him, which I think is very touching. I mean, he only knew his dad up until I want to say he was like 12 years old, so didn't really have a lot of time with him to play music with him. So kind of his way. Tribute. Yeah, it would.
That'd be amazing.
So that's kind of all we have. Is all depressing stuff this week for music news, but there you have it. All right, this last week, on last Friday, I went to Gigantour, which is Megadeth, Slash, Device, Hell Yeah, and Black Label Society. Oh, and Newstead. Great show, and I'm sorry you had to miss it. You were there in spirit.
I was.
You were.
Drinking $13 beers.
Yes, the beers were a little pricey.
A little bit.
The cool thing about that, they actually had a bunch of bands that were not necessarily all in the same genre. Newstead was metal. Slash was definitely not, metal like Megadeth. So I heard Dave Mustaine saying he wants to kind of mix it up, kind of like the English shows or the UK shows, where it's a little more
diverse.
Yeah, exactly. What did you think of the lineup when you heard the lineup?
It sounded all metal to me, honestly. Like, those are all like rock legends as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, it was kind of just like giving you the biggest and the best that you would actually want to go to a concert and pay to see. Which, I mean, how do you not get Newstead and Hell Yeah and Megadeth and all of those guys and Zakk Wylde?
Right.
You don't get all those people into a room and not have people pay money to go see it.
Yeah, and the place was packed. It was packed from almost the point of when I got there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because every act, deserved that kind of, respect. So, since you didn't make it, out of all the bands there, who did you want to see the most?
Black Label Society.
Yeah. That's
probably one of the bands that I've had the least opportunity to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Seen Hell Yeah a few times. I'm friends with Vinnie Paul. I mean,
right.
That's just... and Megadeth, I've always loved Megadeth, but I don't know that I've loved them enough to, see them in concert.
Right.
I mean, I know a little bit of their music, but I don't know it as much as some of the other bands. Like Slash, I'd love to see Slash.
And, he played like Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I mean, I respect anybody with any musical talent and to be able to play the guitar like he does. I mean, he definitely earned the name Slash.
Yeah.
For sure.
And he is such, when you see him walk on stage, he is such it's like icon and legend, and he has such a presence to him. You're like,
so
wow.
Huge. Like, he just looks huge. But it's nice to hear him talk in interviews. He sounds very mellow and very down to earth. Like, very just a humble. Very cool cat.
He is. I've had a chance to meet him about 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
And he is the nicest guy. And just very humble. And, you just have so much respect for someone that is that legendary, and I'm sure he knows it. But
he's still so humble about it.
But he is so humble about it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Where some of his other bandmates from other bands may not have been like that.
Right, yeah, I know. Yeah. But he seems like the kind of cat where you could, sit down and maybe get him to teach you a chord or two.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. I would when I first walked in there, I got there a little late, and I saw one song from Newstead, but it's probably the best song he did, which was Whiplash from Metallica. And just seeing him play a song from his band that he hadn't been a part of for many years was pretty cool. And that's such a big bass line in that song. It was cool.
That's nice to have that kind of nostalgia.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And Black Label. I've seen Black Label quite a few times, and they came out and did a killer set. It was, probably 45 minutes, and I've seen him do 2-hour sets.
Yeah.
So he kind of really condensed everything, didn't talk a lot, but he played a lot from Mafia and Blessed Hell Ride my 2 favorite albums of his. So I was like, yeah.
Right on.
Device. Now I went in there not really expecting a lot, and the first song was like, and it is David Draymond from Disturbed, and it sounds like Disturbed, but you know what? They kicked ass. They were so good. The energy level was so high, and I think I told you that the guitarist was from Dope.
Yep.
Who we talked about.
Flipped out immediately.
Yeah. Yes. And that was really a nice surprise. Slash was amazing. He did at least 4 or 5 Guns N' Roses songs. One I have not heard that lineup do yet was Welcome to the Jungle, and they did it. And they nailed it.
Oh, nice.
Miles Kennedy is amazing. I think, quote me, he sounds better than Axl Rose.
You're going to go on the record of saying that?
Hell yeah. And speaking of hell yeah, they were awesome too as usual. They come out there and they had a half hour of just kick-ass music.
They do.
Yeah.
I really like them.
Megadeth, they bring what they always bring. They bring parts of their new album, and then they bring classics like Symphony for Destruction and Sweaty Bullets, Rest in Peace, and they're always good. Always, phenomenal. The highlight of the show was when Dave Mustaine brought on Slash and Zakk Wylde, David Draymond, Vinnie Paul, and Jason Newsted, and did Cold Sweat from Thin Lizzy. It gave me chills.
Ah!
Give me cold sweat.
Cold sweat.
Yes. It was just seeing Zakk playing rhythm next to Slash.
Just all of those people on the same stage.
Yes. It was just...
Never in a million years do you think you'd see Slash on stage with David Draymond.
Yeah. And
Zakk Wylde.
Yeah, and Dave Mustaine. Yeah, it was...
Paul. Maybe Vinnie Paul and Zakk Wylde on stage together, maybe at one point.
Right, yeah.
But not all of them together.
Yeah. It was overwhelming. And the funny thing is, I was kind of getting tired because it had been a long day. I almost left. I'm so glad I didn't. I would have had a tear in my beer at that point.
Yes, you would have. That would have been an expensive tear.
It would have. It would have been. Well, hopefully next time you can join me on the next concert.
I'm taking off work.
Yes.
I'll be inexplicably ill that day.
That's right. I can't go to work. I'm sick.
I got a fever.
That's right.
And the only prescription
is rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
All right, it is now time for Rock and Roll DNA, where you learn a little more about us as music lovers. And what's tonight's topic?
Tonight's topic is songs that you break the speed limit to, which we all have them. We all have that one song that every time we hear it, we just forget about how fast we're not supposed to be going. And then all of a sudden the song's over and you look down at your speedometer and bam, you've been doing 100 miles an hour, and it's...
You realize it's because of the
40,
music.
yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what song makes you break the law, Mr. Anderson?
Well, I got 2. I'll go back to when I first started driving, which is a while back. It was.
They had dinosaurs had just became extinct.
They did. And you had to be careful their footprints.
Their footprints.
Yes, because they're still there.
Primitive potholes.
Yes. Foghat Slow Ride. That was like when I was in high school and you put that on, it's like, man, I'm gonna get a ticket.
Gonna get a ticket?
It was like, it's a slow ride. It really is not a slow ride. So that's my one of recent, when I was not a teenager, is Kickstart My Heart, because that song just like boom, it just gets you, and you just want the pedal to the metal.
You just slam that in the 8-track and go.
Yes, the 8-track. Yes. And I still use that.
They still use that.
So what's yours?
Mine, I have 2 as well. One of mine, we actually talked about this band last week, the Distillers. They have a little ditty called Death Sex. Yeah. And I know that sounds really angry and awesome, and it is angry and awesome. It's about 10 minutes of screaming and guitars and drums. But it's awesome, and it makes you want to drive fast and angry, too. It makes you a very aggressive driver. It's
the best type of
it is the best
breaking the
type
law
of
song.
driving. I don't know. My other song is by a little band called Go Go Bordello.
Oh.
They're one of my favorites. I am punk all the way to the core, and these guys are what you call gypsy punks. And they have a song called Immigraniata. And it is awesome, and it's heartfelt. I don't know.
Really?
They just sound angry. Not angry, but like pissed off. Like,
So a good
Yeah.
angry heartfelt.
yeah.
Aggressive heartfelt.
So it gets the blood pumping. Makes
Cool.
you want to get to where you're going just a little bit faster.
Well, don't listen to that on the way home tonight.
No, not at all.
No.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, that's this week's Rock and Roll DNA. Welcome back to Rock City. Tonight we have Billy Blair.
Hi.
He has been in quite a few bands around town because I've known him for quite some time.
Yeah, man. That's right.
And we go back.
Go back to LSD days.
We
too,
do,
man.
we do,
Which
yeah.
wasn't too long ago.
Those days were about a year ago when I used to manage those guys.
Yeah, that was really great.
That's
We're just talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you didn't have the camera on.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, that's
no,
all.
he,
That's
he
for.
did, and that's all going to be.
It's all on there.
It's all on
Oh.
there.
It's like, oh no. So I know you got a bunch of projects. You have obviously music. You got a new band, Junk, and then you also you have a few movies out too, don't you?
I got some movies coming out.
Yeah.
I got movies that are out, and I got some movies coming out like here recent.
Cool. And I know I was as a Redbox the other day, and I saw The Last Stand, which I know you were in as well, right?
Did you see it?
Okay, you won't believe this. I rented this, and I took it home, and I had the day off, put it in there, and it wouldn't play. It's like, you
Damn,
kidding.
like.
Oh, so I'm all, okay, I must have not seated it properly, put it back in again, and it just said error. It's like, it's not my time to watch this movie. I must need to watch this at a different time.
Well, it was just $1, right?
Yeah.
To rent that thing?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a dollar waste right there.
No, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So
Well,
I'll go back and...
Oh, so you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. No, I went back and they didn't have any more copies. That was
Dude,
it.
what's wrong with you? Gotta see the movie before you interview.
Well, I heard you were in it. I heard you had some great lines.
I think I did an interview, man, and
I tried to watch it.
I don't know who it was, but they didn't see Machete, and they were interviewing me. You haven't seen Machete? You're interviewing me? Get the fuck out of here.
So you know what? He has not been in The Last Stand. I have no idea about that movie.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Confirm or deny.
Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
But I have seen
I saw
Machete.
Have you?
Machete.
You've seen The Last Stand. Attaboy.
I saw
Good.
Machete, and I'm excited
Wait,
about
wait.
Machete too.
Machete Kills.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be good.
Sophia
Good.
Vergara, dude, that's my bitch right there.
She's pretty hot.
She was the poster. You've seen her
I've
on
not
the
seen
movie
it.
poster.
Oh, yeah.
Smoking
With the-
hot.
With the
Yes.
tit guns.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That will be a fun
She's
movie.
freaking hot. Unfortunately, I didn't get to work with them.
Oh,
I
you
just
didn't?
did a scene with. I don't want
You
to
didn't
say.
throw-
I
you
don't,
didn't
I don't
throw
want.
a
I don't
fire?
want to say who it was, who I worked with, but I might have told you back then.
I think you may have.
Yeah, don't say.
Yeah, I
it.
won't
It's
say.
a super
But
secret.
if you remember the first, I kill an A-list actor.
Huge, but A+ actor.
Yeah, A+.
This is like one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
So this one, I kill another A-list actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You just gotta wait.
You mean you didn't throw up again in this movie?
Nah, I toughened up.
Ah, good for you. Even though I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I think everybody did. They want me. It's like they think that I really threw up. It's like, yeah, just throw up right
On
cue.
command, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, but that's part of the actor's job. You sell it.
Right.
But that's what I'm known for. Story.
That's how you become A-list. Botulism?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
You have to become the master of your own bodily functions
Yeah.
before you receive
your domain.
A-list status.
Yeah. It's too bad I didn't poop.
Yeah. Too bad. That's a different movie.
That's the freaking B movie.
So, what's the new movie you have coming out besides Machete Kills?
Sin City 2.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
The guy, I just did an interview yesterday saying that what's cool is like when actors work with a director for a couple of times or whatever, and you guys bond, they'll invite you back for like one of their other movies. So that's what it was, since because it's Robert Rodriguez.
Right. Yeah.
And it was kind of like an invite. It's like, hey, you want to do this scene in Sin City 2? It's like, hell yeah.
And that's a huge compliment. I mean, he's I think one of the best directors out there right
Yeah.
now, because he can go from Machete Kills or Machete, Sin City, and then do Spy Kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a huge. I mean, he can go all over the place and do quality movies.
Yeah.
I have huge respect for that guy.
Oh, cool, man.
And he's from Austin.
Dude, he's a way cool dude too.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Danny and the whole team, his sisters, the whole family.
That's cool.
I think they're all in the biz with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, tell us about Junk.
Junk. It's with Rico. You know, he was in LSD with us.
Right. Great drummer.
You know, honestly, after LSD, I was just like, man, I don't want to deal with music, because the acting thing was picking up, and Rico kind of just said, man, let's do it one more time. You know, he had some other players involved or in mind, and kind of like, you know, the plan that he had, kind of like the way we started LSD, is we put a band together and book a show, and we have to get ready for that show. And we did that. It's like, well, hey, we got asked to play. Forgot what show it was. He goes, let's get these guys together and do it. Barely had any music written.
Wow.
And I was like, man, you know, I was already like, I don't want to do that again. But then he twisted my arm. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So, of course, you know, the songs that we didn't record with LSD,
Right.
I used them.
Good.
You know.
Good. I know
Yeah.
you have some really good ones that were
Thanks.
kind of on the back burner.
Yeah, I didn't want to waste that. So it's like, all right, well, we got those, and then I had some other riffs, and it just all came out. But the guys that we had in the band just didn't mesh up. So, you know, long story short, that show just bit it. It was so embarrassing. And so after the show, I fired everybody.
Oh, really?
Except for Rico, of course. And
Were you called Junk at the time?
yeah, we're
Okay.
called Jump. And then my buddy Ben, you know, he's in Nevermind Darkness, Zavita Kid here in DFW. I jammed with him before, and he's a bass player, singer. I go, let's get him. I wanted him originally in Jump.
Right.
And got him in. Great guy, man. So everything just started like sounding like a band. And it was just a 3-piece. And, you know, I wanted to get a 4th member in there, but we're like, dude, you know, fuck this. Let's stay like this.
Don't mess with a good thing,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So-
man, the less members in the band, the easier. And you might know that. So we're like, all right, this is the band. Except, you know, I had to learn more leads because I'm not a lead player.
Right.
you know.
Right.
But man, I actually got more into the leads and figured it out. I was like, all right, man, now it's a band, so Junk's a 3-piece.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So now, yeah, we're rocking, man. About to release an album,
When's that supposed to come out?
and oh goddamn, I hope it comes out soon.
Like by the end of the year? you
Yeah,
think?
oh yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Cool.
By the end of the year, hopefully next month or so.
Cool. Looking for a distributor?
Yeah,
Looking for a record label?
yeah. I mean, yeah, the connections are all there.
Exactly.
Might as well just, you know,
Right.
here you go. So yeah, why not
Cool.
use all the connections that we got?
Yeah, I know there's quite a few out there.
Yeah, there are.
Now I know that I just read this today too that you have some pretty big shows coming up
Yeah, man. When is this coming out?
this week.
Yeah, we just
Did I
got.
see something about Buck Sherry?
Yeah, Buck
Yeah,
Sherry. We
exactly,
just got on that today. As a matter of
I'm
Yes.
fact.
super stoked about that.
So,
Yeah.
and in my old band,
That's crazy.
Messers on it.
That's who are they? You're good friends.
I started that band, by the way. Well, me and Javier did. But anyways, that's another story. But yeah, they were on the bill and
For another episode.
yeah. And it's like Clint was like, "Hey, but Messers on there. You don't mind?" And, no.
Well, and I know
Those
we,
guys.
you know, you guys played with Messer with LSD.
Yeah, we did. We did that with
was
Docket.
last time? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, blew him away.
Well, see. So, but I mean, it's good that you're able to go in and still
Yeah.
put things aside and work with.
Oh man, that's yeah. I mean, I still want to, my old bandmate Holly and their band Honey. We talked about doing shows together. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a show with all ex-members.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because and we've talked about this before, how the Dallas music scene, really needs to be kind of a brotherhood.
Yeah.
And support each other. And I know when I was with you guys, we'd always stay around and watch the other bands, or come in early and watch the other bands to support them as well.
Yeah, and it's cool because when they see that, they're like, it makes them feel really good.
Yeah, yeah.
So these days, everybody wants to be civil and happy, and feels good.
Yeah.
So I don't mind doing that.
Yeah, cool. Anything else you got on tap coming up?
Yeah, a lot of film, man. I got some independent films coming out. If you're in the film festival world, if you like that, watch out for Decaying Complex. That's kind of like a thriller. And then another one is my mind went blank. Devotion. That one's kind of like a thriller.
Was that the one you did with Greg Ingram?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Greg Ingram.
Okay.
Yeah. And
What about Blood Sombrero?
Blood Sombrero.
I wanted to know about that one.
That's my baby. That one's coming together. Yeah, no, you were supposed to.
Do hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup.
Yeah, you caught me on a weekend that I had my son.
I know, but keep in mind that was just for a teaser shoot. We haven't done the
Well,
film.
definitly I would love to,
Well,
to
I
be a
had
part
you.
of that.
I had you in mind.
Keep me in mind.
I want to produce. So that's actually my first film I'm producing.
Oh, fantastic.
Producing, co-starring. So the guy that did Devotion, that's coming out, Abel Berry, he had this idea of Blood Sombrero, and he came across it with me and Greg, a few years ago. And then since now he's finished with Devotion, he wanted to get back to that, and he said, why don't we just get a whole bunch of us together, bunch of up-and-comers, whoever we can get, and do a film together. How cool would that be?
Yeah,
your own film. So that always stuck in my head, and me and Greg were working on a script, and right now that's in the back burner. But I said, dude, let's do this Blood Sombrero thing. Let's make it happen. And with the stories that you heard, like these A-list actors, when they started off, they did their own thing. And I'm going back from Sylvester Stallone to Matt Damon, Ben Affleck.
Oh, mostly, yeah.
Yeah, the Vin
Good
Diesel.
Will Hunting was like their own.
That was their film.
Right.
And Vin Diesel as well. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way before the Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
He did a bunch of his own stuff.
Yeah, he did his own stuff. Got submitted in film festivals. What's his name? Spielberg. So
Right.
called him up. Put him in Saving Private Ryan.
That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's right. That
So,
was a good
After,
cameo.
yeah, and then Billy Bob Thornton as well. They did their own movies, and then next thing you know, they're having scripts handed to them. So I want to jump on that wagon.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, I hope.
And I know you. I know your passion for movies.
That's not
I
me,
mean-
dude.
So yeah, you're gonna have to go over
There
there.
we go. Good. It's a cool room, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Anyways, ADD. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. It's like let's do this film together. So we got this thing on Facebook. It's Blood Sombrero Facebook, however it works.com/ and then
Hashtag.
we did it. Yeah, we did it. We shot a teaser for it. So we're gonna do a fundraiser for it on Indiegogo. So yeah, so we did the teaser, and we want everybody to have a visual to see what they're gonna put their hands in. It's a thriller, excitement kind of thing, kind of over the top, kind of like Kill Bill meets Hobo with a Shotgun.
Oh, cool.
Or something. I don't know.
House
if
of
you
a
know.
Thousand Corpses and.
Yeah.
I've actually seen a hobo with a
Yeah,
shotgun.
but you
It's
have.
nothing to fuck with, right?
It is not.
So if you're a big fan of that, you
Yes.
like Blood Sombrero. So yeah, I'm doing that, and the rig and wear. My own custom kind of like hats and vests, stuff like that. You know.
Which I still need one.
Hit me up.
Okay, man.
The hat
Have
or
one
what?
with the hat.
The hat? Okay.
Yeah, and one that has Rock City on there.
We talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a long time ago.
Yeah, I gotta get your hat size and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, you hit me up on rigandwear.com, Facebook, however it works. On Facebook, Rig and Wear. And, you know, it's just a bunch of dolled up stuff. You know, I've done some, made some outfits for like some rock guys out there touring. And then a lot of hats. I've done it from, you know, Robert Rodriguez, Danny Trejo, you know, a bunch of.
Oh, I know there's someone else too that you made a hat for.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta say that, dude. You gotta say it. You gotta do, man. You can't.
It's a long story. I'll tell you about it.
Okay. Okay. We'll say the for off camera then.
That's like
It's a big pop singer.
Huge.
Yeah, huge.
huge.
If I bring like a CD out and like would that ruin the whole thing? Not that I have a CD.
Probably. They might see this. It'd be cool if they did. Anyways.
Other CDs that you have back here that we won't.
Do you have it?
Right.
You have the CD back there?
I do have it.
Mark even has
I do.
Shakira. If you're in the mood.
Oh. You
But-
should have played some damn Shakira while it came.
I should have, huh? Remember, it may not be mine that I bought.
Okay.
I'm saying that, but this is
Possession's 9/10 of the law.
right.
Jeez. I wish I could say, guys, but anyways, but yeah.
We'll throw the CD later on. No, we won't.
I promise not to say
Okay.
anything. But yeah, so I think that's all I got going on. That and then just, you know, just living life, living, LIVIN.
Okay, I'm gonna take taking junk out of the equation.
Okay.
And taking your latest one's Machete Kills, right?
Yeah.
Take that out of the equation. What's your between music and film? What is your most proudest moment? But taking the last two out of the equation.
Proudest moment.
In either music or film. What's like your pinnacle?
Oh, okay, on both ends? Well, what's...
Yeah, it would do both ends. Yeah.
Well, of course, you know, film, you know, working with the A-list actors. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
kind of that thing where it's like, oh, you know, pinch me. Does this seem real? Is this really happening? On the film, and you know those kind of films
Oh yeah.
that I'm in. And then the music, man, I mean, actually, it was, I was with, I think it started with Earshot, touring. I was in
That
a,
was way back in the day.
yeah, I was in a,
That was back
I was in a
Sugar
band.
Shack days,
Yeah, I think they,
when we were working together.
what's his name would play it, touring, playing arenas, amphitheaters, along with these heavy duty, heavy hitters, Queensryche, Seven
That's awesome.
Dust, Shine Down, Seether, and it was us. And I was there. And the coolest thing, like, I remember having the guys from Queensryche like, man, dude, you're badass.
That's a huge compliment. My God.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
like,
I was like,
I mean,
whoa.
That's like, I mean, look right there. I mean, I'm a huge Queensryche fan.
Right there in that
Yeah,
picture, yeah, exactly. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, so I totally
Yeah.
get that. That's
You know,
amazing.
I think that was it. Like, with people like that saying, hey, man, that was badass. Even with LSD, when we did
Yeah.
nationals, the national
with the
bands
awards.
were like, yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, wow, that, you know, blew me away. And in the film world, dude, when I did the scene with, what's his name? In The Last Stand, help me out.
I wish I could. I couldn't see the movie because it had an error, so I came and helped you out there.
Why am I so...
Art Schwarzenegger.
No.
Louis Guzman?
Oh yeah, well, at the premiere, you know, he even said he saw it. This is cool. Was
Louis
it the-
Guzman?
Huh?
Louis Guzman?
Who?
Louis Guzman.
No. The one I did the scene with. That you saw.
Oh,
me.
yeah. Oh,
Forrest Whitaker.
yeah.
Forrest Whitaker, man.
I saw it.
Sorry, dude. I'm scatterbrained. But yeah, he was like, oh man, good job. Like, whoa, no, dude, you're cool. You know, that is fucking badass.
That is.
And at the premiere, when I was at the Last Stand in LA, I'm telling you, man, what a experience that was. Arnold finally, you know, got his attention, and he was sitting down like this, and I was like, "Where you're at?" And I went like that. I shot him a thumbs up. He goes, "Good job!" I'm like, holy shit!
Wow, that's cool.
You know,
that's
that moment.
Yeah.
So
you can't deny that. That's
yeah.
amazing.
So on both ends, dude, I got him.
That's that's life experience.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Man, I like it. You know, should write a song about it.
You should. You should.
But yeah, man. What about you guys?
What about us?
We've just
What's
started
up with
this
you?
new show.
How's the show?
The show's going great. We're every week it gets better and better, and we're
It
increasing the
does.
hits.
You know what? I like it a lot, man. I mean, like I said, with the girl and then you, and then Sean back there, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
we got it. Yeah,
it's
golden.
fucking badass.
Thanks, man.
like
Appreciate
it.
it.
Appreciate that.
Everybody should watch this show. Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Twice a day.
Over and over.
That's right.
Even if you've already seen it, just watch
Like
it.
I do with the metal show. I've seen that. Yeah, that's a different story. I
Hey,
watch that all the time.
this needs to be like the metal show.
Yeah, so we're kind of like that's kind of our inspiration.
Except not
yeah.
just metal,
Yeah.
like metal
Yeah,
and
we talk
film.
about everything.
We do.
We talk about film and we talk about
It should
all
be called
genres.
That Show.
Just that show.
Yeah.
That show.
No, it should be like that and then a line. Just insert whatever it is here. Like
Yeah,
that.
Exactly.
And you
Show.
guys, the what is it? The punchline or the what is it, the quote? It's like, we're gonna talk about that,
Quip of the
That's
day.
right. Quip of the day.
this and that. You know, a bunch of this and that.
Well, Billy, thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you, man.
And,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we
Thank
really
you.
did. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Invite me again,
Oh, do you know?
and you know,
Definitely.
I want to eat some enchiladas too.
We'll make you some for the way home.
Put it in a to-go box.
Exactly. I can do that.
Great.
All right, time for rock cinema. This is absolutely one of my favorite rock movies of all time.
Almost Famous?
Yes. yes. I actually saw that on premiere night when I lived in Nashville. And I had no idea what the movie was about. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And I heard it's like an independent film. And I watched it and was just blown away on just the structure, how it was done with music, and the stream of life within this family. Such a great movie.
It really is. It kind of gives you an idea of what it was to be a rock star back in the day.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Just like the stories that you hear of like the rock star lifestyle.
And the whole thing was based on a true story. Cameron Crowe, who wrote it and directed it, he wrote for Rolling Stone back in the day, back in the 70s. And from what I read and heard, he took his experience with Led Zeppelin and the Allman Brothers, kind of melded it into one. I think Leonard Skinner too, because the whole plane thing was kind of going down.
Right.
I think that's probably part of it. But the cast is amazing too.
Right.
I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, there's some people in there that are famous now, almost famous back then.
Famous.
I don't use that line too much, but it's true.
Right.
Who do you remember that was in the movie?
Patrick Fugit.
That's right.
He's been in a few movies since then. Saved, probably the most notable that I can think of off the top of my head.
Which I need to check out.
You need to check that out. Who else do we have?
We have Jason Lee, who's, I mean, usually a comedian.
Right.
And this is a pretty straight role for him. That was a
Right.
very, I mean, it was pretty
It was still
intense.
kind of almost a comedy.
Yeah, in some sorts, yeah. There's definitely some comedic moments in there.
Right. We got Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
Also.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of her breakthrough movie.
Right.
Kind of put her over the mainstream top.
This was one of those movies, though, that gave a lot of the up-and-coming stars their start.
right.
If we had to
right.
compare it to anything, I would probably compare it to Dazed and Confused. Because
Oh,
that gave
yes,
so
yeah.
many stars that we know today their start, like Ben Affleck, Mila Jovovich.
Right.
God, there's so many of them in there that got their start.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey,
Right,
that's who I was trying to think
yeah.
of. But yeah, so this is kind of along the same lines of that. We have a whole lot of up-and-comers.
Billy Cudrup? Was that?
Crudup?
Crudup, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He's in there.
He's in there as well. There's just a ton of people in there that now we're just used to seeing
That's true.
in our daily lives.
And I liked it when he was trying to get into the concert, that backstage area, and Stillwater was opening up for Black Sabbath. I thought it was cool to use a real band's name, and it wasn't just like another made-up, headliner. They said Black Sabbath.
And now you can associate that
Exactly.
right
Yeah.
in real life. Like, oh, this really was something that happened.
Right. Oh, and the kid that had the Led Zeppelin shirt on, he was going through the halls, wanting to meet Robert Plant, the whole Golden God thing. He was in This Is the End. He's been in a lot of movies with Seth Rogen. And I know you'd recognize him when you see him. He's kind of a nerdy type kid, but he's been in lots of stuff. He was just in This Is the End, and he played a major role in there.
Are you talking about Michael Cera?
No, he was the guy that was in the Facebook movie, right?
No. Michael Cera was the guy that was in Juno.
Oh, right. No, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, this is, but Michael Cera is in the same group with him, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
No, so it's not him then.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
All right, don't get your hopes up, guys.
That's
it's
right.
not Michael Cera.
But it is his friend.
They're friends.
Yeah, they are. And just the whole soundtrack is so cool because you have Zeppelin.
Right.
You have Elton John.
The Who.
The Who. One of my favorite scenes is when they're in the bus and they're singing Elton John, going down the road. And I'm drawing a blank on what song it was, but it was like they're all started kind of getting harmonies after a big fight, and that all kind of like brought them back together.
Well, music is what brings people together.
That's right. It's kind of healing.
It is.
Yeah. So.
But by far, one of the best movies out there.
It is, and if you have a chance, it's called Bootleg Edition, and it's actually like almost 3 hours long. And I picked that up not too long ago, and so it's kind of a different movie.
Is there anywhere in particular we can maybe look for that?
You could probably get it at Best Buy or on Amazon.
All right.
It is definitely worth the pick. If you like that movie, you'll love this because it's more in depth, more scenes, and just kind of like brings some of the scenes a little more. It's a little more cohesive.
Right on.
Pretty cool.
Well, without a doubt, I'd have to say two horns
up.
all the way up.
Way up. All right, time for our pick 3 this week. This week we have Grunge. Our top 3 grunge albums. There's a lot of albums out there to choose from.
Lots.
Let's start with our number 3s. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Purple by Stone Temple Pilots.
Great album.
Which
it's fantastic.
Really is a good album. And it was a lot different than a lot of the stuff that was coming out at the time. When you had Alice in Chains and Nirvana and Soundgarden, and then Stone Temple Pilot kind of just doing their own little thing with Vaseline.
And the thing I like about Stone Temple Pilots, they were the only grunge band that was not from Seattle. They're from San Diego. But man, they had that vibe, they had everything there, and that was a total grunge album. One of the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So your number 3?
Number 3 is Pearl Jam 10.
Not bad.
I remember when I first heard that, I heard Even Flow on MTV.
Okay.
And
when MTV still played music?
Exactly. It was a long time ago. And it was so just different, the way the song was structured and how fast he sang, but it was like the rhythm was just so cool. And you listen to the rest of it, it's just phenomenal. I really, to this day, I love 10.
Awesome. So
Number
I guess
2?
number 2, my number 2 is Houdini by the Melvins.
Wow.
Which
nice.
has a lot to do with my number 1 pick. But the Melvins were like hardcore grunge. Like
They were.
super hardcore grunge. And it'll probably make a little bit more sense whenever we go into the number 1 why I chose the Melvins. But the lead singer of my number 1 choice actually has a co-producer credit on Houdini.
Really?
Which is pretty interesting.
That is. Well, now I'm looking forward to your number 1. My number 2 is Alice in Chains' Dirt.
classic.
It is. I mean, their first album was a breakthrough and phenomenal, but Dirt from beginning to end. You know, we got Rooster on there. You know, there's just so many, you know, ebbs and flows in that one. It gets really heavy, and then it, you know, has Rooster in between all of the really grungy, heavy stuff. Is just the songwriting is amazing.
Rooster's like the anthem from that
Yeah,
album,
yeah,
though.
most
This
definitely.
is
Yeah,
like the whole tone for it.
it does. So Dirt is just. In fact, tomorrow I think I'll be listening to that on my way to work.
Absolutely.
Number one.
Number one.
Drum roll.
Nevermind by Nirvana has to be the number one all-time grunge album. In fact, that was one of the first albums I ever bought.
Was it really?
Absolutely. Lead singer for Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, has co-producer credits on Houdini by the Melvins.
I had no idea.
Was actually idolized the band for quite some time and
Really?
was a roadie for them for a little while, just a brief
How
stint.
cool. Look at me learning
So
new
maybe
information.
if it hadn't been for the Melvins, we might not have heard anything from Mr. Cobain.
It's very true.
Very true.
I had
So
no idea. I love new tidbits about bands. That's great.
that rounds out my top three.
Very cool. My number one is Soundgarden, Super Unknown. I like that a lot. I mean, a lot of their other albums are more grungy and a little more heavy. But that one I listened to on my way from California to Austin, like just nonstop. And that just really speaks to me. And it has like Spoon Man on there and so many classic ones. And it has a really great, the production on there is phenomenal. So that'd be mine.
That's pretty grungy top three.
Yeah, I think so too. Then we did a great job this week.
Make sure you can tweet us and tell us maybe your top picks.
Please do. We'd love to hear from you guys.
What's up, guys? We are going to talk a little bit about concerts that are going to be coming into town this week and in the near future. So to start things off, we have on July 19th, Authority Zero is going to be at Trees. It's one of my favorite bands. They are some SoCal, like surf punk type vibe.
Cool.
Very awesome, very good show to check out. If you've never heard of them, it's definitely worth your money. It's going to be at Trees. And then, let's see, at House of Blues on July 24th. Another one of my favorites is Hollywood Undead.
Wow, I've heard a lot about them.
And I just played Mark a clip of a couple of their songs so that he knew what he was going to be getting into.
It was very interesting. A lot different than I expected. I mean, it has more of a, you know, kind of hip-hop vibe with a metal vibe at the same time.
It's hip-hop and metal meets a badass party.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
So
yeah.
that's definitely going to be a good one to check out. Again, that's at House of Blues on July 24th.
And I believe there's also on July 20th is at the House of Blues is Toolology, a tribute to Tool, which if they can pull off Tool, pretty amazing.
I would love to hear someone pull off Tool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's impressive to hear Tool pull off Tool.
Exactly, let alone someone else do it. I mean, it's pretty intricate
You have to be
music.
some diehard fans
Yes.
to start a tribute band to actually do it right.
Right, kind of like Pink Floyd. If you're going to do it, I mean, there's a lot of layers to that.
Has to
So
be
you got to
perfect.
do it right, otherwise it's not going to work. So
Absolutely.
you have to go check that out.
There's going to be some really great concerts around town this weekend. So make sure if you don't have anything to do, just go check those out.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
This week we had a great time.
We really did have a great time. Thanks for watching our interviews, and make sure you check us out on facebook.com/Elysium or follow us on Twitter and check out our videos on YouTube and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to those as well.
And always,
Rock on.
Hey, this is Billy Blair. Catch me on Facebook, whether it's Blood Sombrero, Junk, or Rig and Wear. And stay tuned. You're watching Rock City.